So I think of a Luke Holland. He is a chief of staff for a United States Senator in Washington, D.C. He's actually the youngest chief of staff, and he is a Walton College grad. That is amazing. We have Blake Strode, who graduated from here, played professional tennis, graduated from Harvard Law School, turned down all kinds of offers to return to his hometown of St. Louis to head up Arch City Defenders, a legal aid firm that's helping the disenfranchised. Laura Jacoski, who came to us from California to Arkansas, where people said, "Where are you going?" She loved her time here. She is now in Detroit, Michigan, working for Ford Motor Company, where part of her job is looking at the autonomous driving strategy for Ford, thinking about what that will look like, not in 3 to 5 years, but in 20 to 25 years. And she's a Walton College grad. Wow. We have Ben Rector. I love his music. And but it's not just about his music and as being a singer-songwriter, it's how he's tackling the music industry, how he produces music, how he chooses to go on tour. It's the venues he chooses, the t-shirts he chooses, the social media marketing strategy he has. A Walton College grad and a Jesse Lane. I don't know anyone as talented as Jesse in terms of building community, virtual reality, storytelling, and he is doing all of this for pure charity here in Northwest Arkansas. So I think of these students, and I'm just so proud to have been a small, tiny piece in their journey because they are out there transforming lives.
Luke Holland, Chief of Staff for a U.S. Senator. What did he major in business?
He was a finance major. And I met him as a marketing professor because I was his thesis advisor, and he also took an honors colloquium from me on doing business in China and sub-Saharan Africa.
Wow, that sounds like an interesting course.
It was great fun. Great fun, and that's also the course where I met Blake Strode.
And Blake Strode, remind me again what
Blake was, I actually don't know. I think he was an econ major, and he was an honor student and was a student athlete here. He played tennis for us.
Amazing. Now, Ben Rector, I use Pandora.
Yes.
And one of my stations is Ben Rector.
Yes.
And I've seen him in concert. We saw him in Need to Breathe at the
Yes.
Amp. Did you go to that?
Of course. I wouldn't miss him coming in town.
It is amazing. How talented he is. And,
he is.
And did he major in marketing?
He did.
Yeah, I can see how in that business, understanding marketing would be so important.
It's so important. He is one of the hardest working people I know. He took all his classes on Tuesday, Thursday, his senior year, so that he could hit the road Thursday when he got out of class and play music anywhere in driving distance and then make it back for his Tuesday classes. And you know, Matt, one thing that comes to mind, you had a great guest speaker at our banquet in April, Mary Harmon, and she spoke and she said that she lives in this world of Ivy Leaguers, and she's a Walton grad. And she said the 3 things that stand out to her are Walton grads love it, they own it, and they advertise it. And I agree. And I don't want to disagree with the tax council of Goldman Sachs. But the one thing I would add is I think they love it, they own it, they advertise it, and they invest in it. Because every one of these students that I just mentioned and the thousands of students I've had in 28 years, I can't think of a phone call I've ever made asking a favor that they haven't immediately said yes. I called Luke Holland and Heather Phillips, who's regional director for Peace Corps in Washington, D.C. I called them last week because I have a student moving to Washington who knows no one. They've already met her for coffee to make sure she has a soft landing in the area. Blake Strode toured me and another person through his office last time I was in St. Louis, introducing me to everyone in the office, including clients, so that I understood the story of the work that they're doing. Ben Rector, last time he played in Fayetteville, he could have slept in, but instead he showed up at my class at 8 o'clock and for 3 hours spoke with my 2 classes. Jesse Lane has spoken with my class every semester since he graduated, and that includes when he lived in Dallas. He took personal days off work drove up here on his own dime and spoke to my classes every semester. And Laura Jacoski sits on my advisory board and sends articles to my students from Detroit, Michigan. So they invest in Walton, and I love being a part of this family.